So, what if the secret to a healthier life wasn't about hitting the gym more, but was actually built right into the streets you walk on every single day? That's what we're looking at today, how our cities can be intentionally designed to make us all healthier and way more active.
Okay, so let's start with the big problem, right? It's not always about a lack of willpower. A lot of the time, our environment itself is, well, it's actively working against our health.
Yeah, just think about your own neighborhood for a second. Can you easily walk to a shop? Do your kids have safe places to play? The answer to these questions, that really gets to the very heart of what we're talking about. So here's a number for you. The UK's chief medical officers say this is kind of the magic number for adults, 150. That's 150 minutes of moderate activity every single week. When you break it down, that's just over 20 minutes a day. Sounds pretty achievable, right? Well, for kids, the bar is set even higher. The recommendation for them is an average of 60 minutes of activity every single day to stay healthy. That's a big jump. And here's the thing, right? A lot of us really struggle to hit these targets, and you have to ask, why? Well, it's often because our towns are designed in a way that just creates barriers. I mean, think about it. Neighborhoods with no sidewalks, shops you can only get to by car, or parks that are just too far away to walk to. This is the problem we really need to solve. But here's the good news. There is a really hopeful and powerful solution. It's a concept called active design, and it's all about completely rethinking how we build our communities right from the ground up. So what is it exactly? Well, active design is basically a set of principles for making the healthy choice the easy choice. It's all about designing our environment so that it encourages us to move naturally, without us even really having to think about it. And this image, it just brilliantly illustrates that vision. I mean, instead of these isolated suburbs and sprawling retail parks, just imagine a community where everything, green spaces, safe walking paths, schools, shops, it's all woven together, all interconnected. Okay, but this isn't just some fantasy on an architect's drawing board. Let's take a look at how these principles are actually being put into action in real living places. I love this comparison. On the left, you've got the blueprint, right? The careful planning. And then on the right, you see the reality, a beautiful, green, vibrant community where that plan has actually come to life. It just goes to show this stuff can absolutely be done. All right, let's zoom in on a specific example. This right here is a community hub in Holton. Now, instead of having a separate cafe, a shop, and a community hall all scattered around town, they're all right here in one place. This idea of mixing uses creates a central hub and gives people a bunch of reasons to walk or cycle there. So, how do planners actually make these walkable communities happen? Well, it kind of boils down to three key steps. First, you place daily essentials, like shops and schools, within about an 800-meter walk of people's homes. Second, you make walking and cycling networks the absolute top priority. And third, and this is a cool one, you use something called filtered permeability. Basically, that's just a clever way of designing streets so that walking and cycling routes are super direct and convenient, while the routes for cars might be a little less direct. It actually makes active travel the faster, easier choice for those short trips. But look, a healthy city has to be healthy for everyone. And that's a really crucial part of active design, making sure that our public spaces feel welcoming and are actually accessible to every single member of society. And this quote, it really gets to the heart of it all. Good design just can't be one size fits all. It must recognize that people of different ages, different abilities, and different backgrounds all experience public spaces in very, very different ways. And you know what's amazing? It's how the small details can make a massive difference. An alienating space, for example, might have poor lighting that just feels unsafe. But in an inclusive one, it has great lighting and something called natural surveillance. That just means windows from nearby buildings are overlooking the area, which helps make everyone feel safer. It's all about thinking through the experience for every single person who might use that space. And here's a fantastic real-world example of that. This area in Stevenage, it used to be one of those places people would just hurry through, But look at it now. By adding simple things, some seating, a few informal play areas, it's been totally transformed into a place where families and the community want to hang out. It just feels safe and welcoming now. Okay, so we've established that active design is great for our physical health. But believe me, the positive impacts do not stop there. Let's talk about the incredible ripple effect this kind of planning can have. Get this. Making our high streets more walkable and pleasant isn't just a nice to have, it's actually really good for business. Studies have shown that these kinds of improvements can boost retail sales by up to 30%. And it turns out people who walk to a high street tend to spend more money than those who drive there. Who knew? And the economic benefits don't just stop at the shops, they carry over to the workplace. Turns out, physically active employees take 27% fewer sick days than their less active colleagues. It's simple, really. A healthier workforce is a more productive workforce. So when you pull it all together, you really see the full picture. It's a massive win-win-win. When you design for activity, you also get better air quality and lower carbon emissions. You get more social connection because neighbors are actually interacting with each other. Local economies get stronger. Even biodiversity can improve. Seriously, the list just goes on and on. It's one of the single most effective things we can do for the overall health of our communities. And this quote from some of the leaders in public health and active travel, it just sums it all up perfectly. This isn't just about feeling a bit fitter. This is about tackling some of the biggest challenges we face as a society, everything from the cost of living crisis to climate change. Which brings us to a final thought for you to take away. The next time you're out and about, just look around your own community. What's the one small thing? A new crosswalk? A bench in a park? Maybe a safer bike lane? What's that one thing that could make it a more active, healthier place for everyone to live? Because all these big ideas we've been talking about, they almost always start with one small, simple step.